Evening, guys. Welcome back to another episode. Hope you are all well, whatever time you're watching this, whether you're watching it live or watching it later. Yeah, plenty to get into tonight. Of course, going over the mad game that was Stevenage the other night, going into the Northampton game in a bit as well. Of course, talking about all the injuries, suspension, who's going to be playing in midfield. That's been quite a big talking point. But yeah, if you're watching live, then get all your thoughts in the chat. Get any questions. We're going to be going over everything that is related to Rovers, of course. As always, do hit the like button whether you're watching live or watching it back on the replay. Hit the like button. We always aim for 50 likes, so that'd be appreciated if you could just hit the like button. It is free and it does really help out the channel. Keep up the quality support. Thanks for the support on the reaction after the game. I was just in shock. But yeah, subscribe if you're new as well. Keep up the quality support. But yeah, evening to Neil. How are you? How are you doing on this Thursday evening?
I'm all right, lad. Yeah, you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just about recovered, to be honest. After the madness, but also don't forget to do go and follow the socials as well. I've just put it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Follow us on Instagram, Talking Gas Podcast, and on Twitter, Talking Gas Pod, and also, if you haven't already, do join Fan Hub. The code is also scrolling down at the bottom of the screen, or you can find it in the description as well. But yeah, even into Chris Collier, even into Ford and Blue as well. Even in lads, let's keep any season ticket hype talk short and sweet. Yeah. Even into Rob, do you think fans were out of order for singing "You're Not Fit to Wear the Shirt"? No, I don't, because we'll get into it, but the first 25 minutes was appalling, and people have got their opinions. So yeah, be nice to see some academy lads Saturday. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to, but yeah, even into you, Yusuf, as well, and even into Charlie BR28 as well. I mean, we will get into. I think we'll get into this comment first of all. That was we went live. Yeah, what did you think of that when Taylor come over at the end? Yeah, what did you think of that? Because I've seen different opinions on it, since then. What did you make of that? And have you changed your mind over anything since that when he come out after the game?
No, I thought it was bizarre, mate. Thought it was really bizarre. Didn't think it needed to be said. Don't know. I don't know what he's getting at either, to be honest. As far as he's talking about, like, the shirt weighing heavy. The thing that I don't get is when he's talking about pressure. What pressure now? What's the best place finish we can get? 9th. You got a load of lads that are, you got 14, 15, 16 lads that are out of contract, probably in dialogue with their agents already about what they want to do in the summer and what they want them to find, where they want them to find work, location, division, salary. So, I mean, what pressure? Like, they're not going to go anywhere this season, and the squad's going to get blown to pieces in the summer anyway. It's not like we're striving or working towards anything with this group. So I don't know where the pressure comment comes from. Pressure from what? Like, no one went to that game expecting Rovers to win it. They did. No one expects Rovers to make the playoffs. There's not a chance in this world we're going to get relegated. Pressure to what? Finish 9th? What? I don't know what he's on about. I don't know what he means. Like, he's probably got a thought process of his own, but I didn't understand it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. I don't really know what to say. It was a bit of a mad one, there was a comment, from Rob, obviously saying about, fans were saying, you're not fit to wear the shirt and all that. And, when, especially the last 2 games before tonight, right, has been very, very poor. No matter, what people say, whether you said, oh, the season's done or whatever, the performances and everything that's gone on the last 2 games especially have been poor. And then the way, we're obviously going to get into it, but the way that game started, the first 25 minutes, like, now we can be like, oh yeah, we won the game. But I think everyone, whether you were at the game or whether you were watching it on a stream or I follow, etc., were thinking, wow. So yeah, people, but it was a bit of a strange comment. I still don't really know what to say, to be honest. It's it's just strange. Like you said, there isn't really a lot of pressure. Like fans just want to see good performances. That's what we want to see. So, and to try and be consistent, which we haven't been for quite a while. So, yeah, apart from that, I don't really know what to say. And yeah, maybe Tom's right. He could have been upset about you're not fit to wear the shirt, but people have got their opinions. That first 25 minutes was appalling. The worst. We thought the last two games were bad, and obviously every Rovers fan agreeing. But that first 25 minutes is the worst 25-minute spell I've seen in a very, very long time. So, yeah, even into Harry, though, thanks for tuning in. Chris saying in midfield would go Luke Thomas, Grant, Sinclair, and the lone lad from Hull. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll get onto that later on when we do our lineups. Yeah, even into the gas as well. Yeah, all doing good. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, of course, getting into it, going into the game, making 4 changes. We found out after that Aguilera is now injured as well, which is very frustrating. Apparently, it's a hamstring injury. So, yeah, that's not good at all. But yeah, going into the game, none of us were confident. You didn't think we would even score. I thought that was the first time I predicted us to lose this season. And yeah, first of all, what's your thoughts on the start of the game, especially that first 25 minutes and the way we conceded the goals? What did you make of that?
Wasn't shocked. Wasn't shocked one bit. I fully expected us to get beat Tuesday night, and I thought the way the first sort of 20-25 minutes went, that was going to be the game full stop. I just expected us to get beat by Stevenage and Stevenage to have our number, to be honest. There's getting beat and there's ways of getting beat. And what went on at the first sort of, first 20-25 minutes was a million miles off what it needed to be. But ultimately, it's nothing we didn't already know as far as the way that we can see those goals. Our aerial duels without Connor in the side is appalling, and it will be targeted, But I can sort of understand it if it's something that's coming in the box with a bit of quality, driven, flat, and pick someone out, and you can sort of understand. Okay, yeah, we've conceded an aerial duel from a bit of quality. But when the second one really bothers me, like when the ball it's not even getting fizzed in, it's just getting hung up. And you've got a centre half that's goal side looking at that, coming all his way from the best part of 40, 50 yards. And you don't win that header when you're 6, 7. The minute you lose that header, that's when you know he's got to be dragged. It's like that's got to be your main asset. That's got to be your main asset to your game, and you can't even get that right. Like I said, one day he'll probably go on and have a good career and do something. But right now, he's a million miles off what is required to be part of that defence. And if I'm beefy, I'm scratching my head because he's played 3 times, that lad. He's been brought in on loan. He's played 3 times. He's been a bomb scare and all. I don't know what he does in training to warrant getting picked. But as far as the substitution, is it brave? It's bloody obvious for me. Like, what do? Do you leave him out there to get crucified and us concede another, 3, 4, 5? Early substitutions from managers, I suppose, they can be looked at as brave, but it just seemed like you'd be more concerned if you didn't drag him.
Yeah, but credit to him though, because he could have, like you said, you would be even more concerned that you didn't drag him. But fair play, because he could have left it, but he didn't. He literally, as soon as that happened, because like you said, it's obviously hard being quite a young player coming in on loan. He hasn't really, he's played a few games at Ipswich, but he, coming into a different team on loan. Obviously, we talked about his loan last year at Cheltenham, which didn't work at all. He went in at Cheltenham, played 1 game, and didn't play again in January as well. So, like you said, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Whether he started, I think both of us predicted or wanted, Connolly to start. I think, and yeah, I was a bit strange. Like, yeah, why isn't Connolly? I thought the first game when he come back, Connolly as well. Even the Barnsley game, that he played well. When it was a bit strange. And like you said, I don't know. Obviously Taylor sees it in training. You don't know whether there's a knock or whether, I don't know, he just think height. But then even then, you said he's 6'5", and I haven't seen him win a header yet. Like, and it's strange, to be honest. But like you said, the second goal was a shambles. The way that, like you said, it wouldn't even getting like properly fizzed in. It was just like a simple ball hung up and the two headers.
He's seen it from the minute it's left his foot. He's got his eyes on that for the minute he's left his foot, and he's still not followed the trajectory of the ball to go and win that header. That's concerning, massively concerning.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, really. But like you said, we've even seen it. I think the fans have seen it from the last couple of games where, Fleetwood and Burton. He's just, and it wouldn't. To be fair, it wasn't. You could have taken. I'd probably say there was eight or nine. Not everyone was shocking in the first 25 minutes, but most of it. It was a. You talk about a team. It was a team effort that no one, even Evans, Conteh, you could have said about anyone's performance in that first 25 minutes. Even. I mean, what did you make of the second goal? Like, do you put that down to Ward or bad defending, or just a mix of both? Because I've seen different comments for that. What do you think of that? Because for me, you could. I think I said on my reaction, you could say Ward, but even then, where were the defenders? Like, where were the defenders? 3 centre backs, and there was none of them for that second goal.
A bit like the week before. There's different phases of the build up to that goal that haven't been dealt with properly. I think that you've got a defence there on the second goal that are on their heels because they're expecting the centre half to go and win them. Yeah, and once he's not won it, they've gone, oh shit, now we're reacting. Then you've got to react to something, because wrongly what they've done is they've assumed our centre half will just go and win that header that's being looped into and he's got nowhere near it. He hasn't got a nick on it or affected the play in any which way. That lad has won that header clean and it's gone exactly where he's wanted to go into that zone. And then it's about dealing with the second ball, which we're off of. We've not won that. We've not covered ourselves in glory there. And then when it's dropped, what Ward's done is he's hesitated. He's a young keeper. He's not do I stick or twist here, and he's done neither. And then Hunt's on his heels. He can't get there either. So no one's covered himself in glory. But you stop it at source, don't you? That's what I mean. Just don't win the header or affect the play. You've got to affect him. If you can't win it clean, you've got to do something. You've got to get your body on him. You've got to have some sort of physical presence about dealing with that situation. And the bloke's got a free header. He's won it clean. It's gone exactly where he's wanted it to go. And then after that, Rovers are reacting. They're not set.
Yeah, because the thing is, it was 2, wasn't it? It was two headers, both lost. I think, Baggett lost the first one. Second one, I don't know whether it was crap. I think it was Wilson. I think lost it as well. And like you said, both of them too. It sums up, and it's a real problem. And it's not just been this season. This has been going on, for a while, where we struggle. And you're right. When Connor's in the team, it rarely happens. But even then, there's times when it still happens. Like, it's a real problem. I think overall, as a squad, as a club, as recruitment, I think it needs to be sorted. I know Taylor's talked about more physicality within the side, and I agree. I think overall, even attacking and defending set pieces needs to change. You see a lot of sides, no matter what league, a lot of the sides, you look at Derby, Portsmouth, Stevenage, where they are and how many goals they score, and they can defend from set pieces. I think it's been a real problem. I think it needs to be sorted, whether it's whether it's recruitment, whether it's in training, but something needs to be sorted, because you look at last season, finished 17th. Yeah, you might say, we looked a lot worse than the position in the table looked a lot worse than where it was. But I think personally, and you would probably agree, it needs to be sorted, doesn't it? Defending and attacking set pieces needs to be sorted for us going forward.
Yeah, and you could have the best defenders in the world back there, but if they're not gonna play to a structure, and they're gonna go in and set themselves up as they see fit from a set piece, these things happen no matter who you are. You've got to be, like I said about who was it the other week about Burton? They're in line with what they want to do. Like, and this is what I'm trying to say about this group with Taylor. You're going to get a mixed bag now until the end of the season. We'll win a few, we'll draw a few, we'll lose a few. It will muddle through, and we'll get the odd result, we'll get a good result, we'll get a bad result, we'll get an indifferent result. But this group aren't his. And like I said, it looks a really weird and disjointed relationship between, like, they don't acknowledge him. Like, they go out there and play, and that Rover side has got enough in it to go and win games here and there. They've got to go, and they'll go and lose a game here and there, but it's because they're just going out. They're lads that like each other, and they want to win for each other, and they want to play for each other, and they will do. But I just think you'll see the best of that manager next season with his own group, with the personalities and the mentalities of people that he wants to work with. He's walked into a dressing room, and I think they tolerate him, but that's about it. I think they sort of tolerate him, but they don't. Like I said, look at full time. Look at the dugout. He's like a man waiting for a bus. So whenever he tries to direct traffic from that dugout, no one even glances. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't get a reaction out of them lads as far as a 1-to-1, player to gaffer situation. Whereas I think you'll see a far better Matt Taylor next season with his own personalities and the sort of people he wants to work with. And maybe his management style is, I want to be standoffish, and I don't want to get too close to you, and I don't want to have that sort of relationship with you as a player. But you've got to recruit them sort of players then, because what you've walked into is someone else's soldiers, basically, who would have run through a brick wall for him. And like I said, and the majority of them are running contracts down, and one eye is on the exit door. Yeah. So you're going to see a mixed bag. Like, I don't think the bloke's a bad manager. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think he's useless. I don't think he's a bad bloke. I don't think anything. I just think the personality that he is doesn't marry up to the squad that he's inherited.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, it's because, like you said, we've gone on about it, and I think, obviously everyone's got their thoughts and their feelings on Taylor, and I've some people now saying, oh, Taylor's not that good, or blah blah blah. It's remember in the League Two season, I think it was actually I think it was before I think it was before you started coming on. It might have been a few weeks before you first started coming on, but it was remember that Exeter game and them run of performances we had with Barton, and I was going mad. There's footage back there to look. I was going mad. Barton out. Whatever.
The Newport one was the one that was when you said he's got to go. It was Newport at home, wasn't it? That was the final straw for you.
Yeah, Newport. But then that's how things can change, But like you said, it's so hard at the moment because, like you said, for one, and I'm not, there's a few things like you said. Only a few of them he's brought in 4 players, Conteh, Vaughan, Bagger, Aguilera, and then, like you said, the rest of them are Barton players. Whether people can agree with our opinions and have their own, and then. Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because where we are in the table, it's not been just since Taylor's come in, or it was with Barton last season, it was with Barton this season, where the inconsistencies and various things are happening. Injuries obviously doesn't help. I think we'd be a lot better off if we had a fully fit squad. Obviously that happens in football. I think it's happened to every side. Northampton are the same. You know, we'll get into that later. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Charlie says Taylor publicly said we need physicality, yet he sounds a beanpole in Baggett. Two lightweights in Brandon and Vaughan. He's making Rod for his own back. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's also a thing. But again, in January, it's very, very difficult. You can in it like you would agree as well. Yeah, I sort of get that as well because Taylor's mentioned he wants more physicality, but then of course you go and sign Vaughan's about 5'2", but it's hard in January. Such a hard window for you to go in and see. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? There's so many different dilemmas and different things that affect what's going on. And like you said, you can only judge him once he's had a full season and a full window of, you know, recruitment. But like you said, obviously there's always going to be different opinions within football. And yeah, it's very, very mixed. Even looking at the last few episodes we've done and videos after games, I think there's been half and half, I would say, looking at comments. I don't know what the whole, you know, circle of Rovers fans' thoughts are, but yeah, a lot of people definitely haven't been happy. It's hard though, isn't it? It's very hard.
I don't think you can get too worked up about it. Like, it's not like we're in a position that is going to affect anything come what we do in the next sort of 14, 15. It's just a means to an end. Once you clear the decks in the summer, then he becomes his own man. And he can go, right, this is what I'm building. This is how I'm setting up. This is a mentality I want. This is how I want my training ground to look like, what the culture needs to be, the personnel that I want in and around me to work with. And this is how we're going to set up and play, whether that be ugly to watch, beautiful to watch, or whatever. He'll be able to get his way. At the minute, he's tolerating lads and lads are tolerating him. And it's just a bit like we're ticking down. We'll win a few, we'll lose a few, we'll draw a few. You know, it's a means to an end. But that's why I don't get the pressure bit.
Yeah,
there is none.
I still thinking, now, you know, even that, it was a bit strange, isn't it? Like you said, the pressure bit.
Look, no manager or player wants to wear that getting thrown at them, but it's par for the course when you put that when you know you don't even show up for the first 20 minutes. That's going to get thrown at you, especially off the back of bad results, and but. Got to stand up as men and get on with it, and they did. Fair play to them, they did. And what you saw on Tuesday is exactly why I don't think you'll see Antony Evans be a Bristol Rovers player next season. I just think he's done his time with us and got nowhere with us, and now his stock's really high. And even though he's in contract, like I said, he probably earmarking his agent, going, "Look, what can you do for me? Can you get me like career changing money in the summer?" Like, and I
think he's only got a year left as well.
That's what I mean. Yeah, well, Rovers have to get a fee. Of course they will, but that's the matter of, like, without being crude about it, what is every player going to do? Bid comes in, bid rejected. I don't want to be here. And then what you got? You got a player that you're never going to get the best tune out of him because he's disgruntled. With all due respect, bit like the Azza thing. Do you know what I mean? He knows where his head's at. He knows what he can do. He knows what he can earn. He knows where he can go. He knows where his career path can take him. He doesn't want to be here no more. Do you know what I mean? And that doesn't mean he's like kicking cones, not turning up late, disrupting. Mentally, he's not where you want him to be with you. So he's not that asset anymore. And I just think Evans could go that way, because if he keeps doing what he's doing this season, he's definitely going to get earmarked and bids will come in. Whether they're the bids that Rovers see fit as being market value, the minute he knows that club of that stature want me to go and play for them, that's the salary I can earn for that many years. You can't blame the bloke, can you? It's like if you get offered a raise or another job somewhere else and you can, triple your money, secure yourself 3 or 4 years playing for a bigger football club where your exposure's better, you can get better endorsements, and that's what you do, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's been quality. Even like whatever person you are. Obviously, we've seen it this season. He's probably been our player of the season. Would you agree, Evans? Player of the season.
Yeah, I think he's probably he's been really influential for us. I mean, like Chris Martin's pulled up trees to do what he's done. The expectation of him. He's pulled up trees to do what he's done. But as far as Antony Evans having to play multiple roles, You look at him now, and like he served a little bit of an apprenticeship playing that deeper role and having to come to terms with it, learn on the job, and he wasn't great at it to start. He's a well-rounded central midfielder now, or very well-rounded. He's got a bite in his tackle. Look at him now; he's on suspension because he knows he can go and put himself about. He'll mix it when he has to. He goes and gets the ball in deep areas. He's nice and brave on the ball. His ball retention is normally very good. He can find a killer pass and he can score goals. There's not. You look at the three big hitters in this league: Bolton, Pompey, and who's the other one that I'm missing? Derby. They take Antony Evans in their squad, 100%, and that's big money for him. He'll go there. He'd go there in a heartbeat if they showed interest. And then after that, you're looking at championship sides. You know what I mean? Imagine if someone like Preston, Northwest based, big money, big contracts, go back home. It's going to whet his appetite, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not really looking forward to the summer because, like you said, he's got a year left. He's been very, last season was
there has to be
yeah, there will be I think. But you look at last season, where I still find it weird now that Barton wanted to make him like sit deeper. I thought for whatever reason, I thought that was so strange, and he didn't look the same player like deep. But when he's when he's been behind the striker and he's in that, even to let him free roam, he's got everything. So yeah, he's been quality. I think you look at I've looked at the stats. I thought I'll look at some stats, and you look at him, 18 goal contributions in all comps. I think speaks for itself. You look at it, used brilliant at pretty much everything. But Yusuf saying is a good player in Baggett, but he's way too casual about his business and not sharp enough to play Saturday, Tuesday. Charlie also saying we've been good at defending set pieces. We haven't been good. That's true. To be fair, I think a few people have said that. We also need a director of football. Manager shouldn't have to complete. I think it was January. I think since the recruitment side of things left, then that needs to be sorted. I think as well. Paul saying, what I don't understand, we sign players on loan who are very young, but we send our youngsters out on loan. Why we don't give them a chance? Yeah, I think we do need to. It's hard doing it. You don't want to just chuck in a loan player, especially after how the last few performances have been, and you don't want to just ruin them. Yeah, you can see where they are, and I think we'll see it this week. Whether they'll probably be on the bench, but I think we will see a few youngsters because there are injuries at the moment. And you look at Aguilera, Grant Ward, Rossiter long term, George Friend, Sam Finley, Luke McCormick, Evans now suspended for 2 games. Conteh is apparently suspended for 2 games as well because he's also got 10 yellow cards as well as the suspension. So for the next 2 weeks, especially. We'll get into it in a bit, but the midfield look very, very light, especially, of course, in the middle. Even into Brett as well, saying it seems the way that Taylor wants to play is to play lob ball, and the players don't want to. Fans can see it and making it known. So Taylor's trying to call. I'm not sure. I think it's because, to be fair, the last 2 games have been before Stevenage were poor, but I think you can see a style. And I think it helps if our best players are fit most of the time. Whereas this season, you look at especially Grant Ward in that middle with Finley. I think it, like I said, it's not it sort of is an excuse, but it isn't, because yes, we should be sort of doing it, but when big players are missing, you look at McCormick, Taylor, Evans, Finley, Grant Ward, they would all start pretty much, but a lot of them are missing at the moment. So that's also what makes it tough at the moment. But keep hitting the like button if you haven't already. Over 53 of you in watching live. Do hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Support is quality. But a lot of people who watch are not subscribed. So do hit the red subscribe button and like. It is free. What's your actual thoughts on that second half? Because it was complete, like we've talked about, it was completely different. I think it did pick up, of course, after we scored the goal. But, we said first 25 minutes was the worst I've seen in ages. But the second half, it was just so different. Like I said in the reaction, we were just doing the basics and keeping it simple. And we actually have had movement off the ball, which we haven't had the last few games. It was just so bizarre and just sums up Rovers, doesn't it? That second half and the performance second half.
Yeah. I think Stevenage need to look at himself a little bit, though, because they had the game in the palm of their hand there. Even at 2-1, they had opportunities to make it 3-1. And they stopped doing things that you should do at 2-1 at home, really. They stopped making good fouls. They didn't disrupt the game enough. It was too open. And for a team like that, who are quite savvy, you're expecting that ball to be the game to stop every sort of, 20, 30 seconds. And they stopped doing it. They just didn't go. They just didn't do what you do in that situation correctly. And we started running through the middle of the pitch. And no matter who you are, you should be savvy enough to know that you just give away good fouls. Yeah, you pick up bookings and you do that, but ultimately you stop all momentum, and it reduces the other team to do exactly what Stevenage did to us at the start and just boom the ball into the box. And Stevenage would comfortably deal with that. They went completely away from doing what would have brought them success to go and win that game. And Rovers took advantage of it. And if you're not, like I said about Evans, you're not going to get close to someone like Antony Evans. It's going to hurt you. And they just didn't deal with it at source. So I think there's an element of Rovers being really good as far as taking the opportunity that was presented to them. But also, let's be honest, Stevenage lost that game. As much as Rovers took advantage of the situation, Stevenage lost that football match because they had it in the palm of their hand.
Yeah, it was pretty mad because I'm pretty sure the last time we won from being 1-0 down was it Fleetwood away last season within, where was it? What was that? March time, I think, where we went away to them. We went 1-0 down and then Grant, Ward and Gibson. I think that was so it's been a long time since we've come back after losing. And that's another trait that we need to get back to, because we used to do it a lot quite a few years ago. That used to be a lot of, in the First League 2 promotion, and with Darryl, it used to happen all the time. We used to be losing and then we'd win. So that also needs a thing, because I think if you want to be successful in any league, of course you're gonna go down 1-0, but then you need to show the character, the togetherness, whatever, to come back, and that's what we need to do more, to be honest. And I think Ward, credit to Ward though, that before we did equalise, he made some very good saves at the start of that second half, tipped it over the bar, I think one off the post. But like you said, it was very strange to see Stevenage not doing what they did when they came to us, and what you would expect them to do was make fouls, slow the game down. And when it's like that, though, it sort of happens when we play teams, like Stevenage, like Portsmouth, where the game is more open, and that's why we win more. You look at Bolton, Oxford at home, the game's more open. Teams are not sitting back. They're actually coming at us. So, one of my other mates actually rang me before and was like, he was confident because it was almost like that, where you would expect, he was confident in us winning. And like you said, I think a lot of us, some people predicted us to win the game, but a lot of us were, especially you look at the last two and you think, wow, like it was poor. But Van Aram and I, do Rovers need a backup striker? Because if they do, they can have Damani Mella. Is that the ex-United one who was at Salford and Wickham? I think it is. But we need do need a backup striker, because I don't think Marquis is the answer, and I think he'll be off anyway in the summer. But you can keep Miller. The Tom Butler said even to as well, fan base is still split. I don't think things will get better until well into next season. I think it's everything though. I think it's not just Taylor. I think it's other stuff as well. There's so much, even you can look at it, with the season ticket prices, whether it's the letter the other day from the owner. There's a whole load of things. I think it's not just Taylor. I think it's everything. There's still, going on. But we'll see.
You'll never not get it though. You'll never not get it. There's no such thing as a United fan base. You look at any football club, there's always an undercurrent of disagreement with stuff somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yusuf saying, don't see why people are picking negatives out of the video with Taylor after the game. He's just saying the club need to stick together. Do you think Finley will sign a new contract as Taylor rates him highly? Hopefully, but I can see him going, to be honest. I think he's been here, what, three years now? What is he, 31? I don't think we're going to offer him like a 2-3 year deal. I think if we're going to offer him a deal, it'd be one with maybe an option. I think he'll leave. Do you agree as well that Finley will leave?
Yeah, I can't see him being here next season. I think he'll look to go closer to back home, to be honest. I think he'll look to get his family back to closer to the northwest. You know, like I said, if you're Sam Finley, you're asking your agent to go and speak to Wrexham, aren't you, really? Go and get yourself based in Chester, go and get yourself a 2-year deal, go in there, raise your profile, earn a bit more money. Like, that's the dream situation for someone from that playing League One football that is based from that area, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Sam will be with us next season.
Yeah, or even someone like Stockport as well, because they look like they're going to come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be any, but yeah, I don't think I really want him to be, because he's been, I'd probably say he's been one of the best players under Taylor. I think he's been excellent under Taylor. So, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens. There's going to be a lot of change. Again, I think it's going to be another one of those where it has been under when we've under Barton, really, when it's come to the summer with players leaving and going. I think it'll be around the same amount. I don't think there'll be many people staying. I think you'll have your 6, 7, 8, 9, but I think there'll be a lot of players. Yeah, a lot of players coming in, a lot of players going out as well. First 20 minutes of the first half and 20 minutes of the second, we were not very good. Jed made 2 fantastic saves. If one of those go in, we get hammered. Yeah, but that's what happens. It was obviously massive that we got the first goal. I thought Thomas was excellent. Took the goal well. Looked like the more, but like exactly what Taylor said, and probably what a lot of people would say, is that you just need to see it a little bit more, don't you? Because we know we've got it. We know Thomas has got that, but we just need to see it a little bit more on a consistent basis. But yeah,
well,
I thought he was quality.
Yeah, it's what I said 2-3 weeks back. Like, if you're going to play in that area, you need to be a goal threat. You need to start becoming a goal threat. And you know, Luke can weigh in. He can weigh in. He just hasn't been doing it. You know what I mean? Like I said, he looks like he's got a million things going around in his head a lot of the time when he gets into a position where he's either got he's approaching 18-yard box, he's got a final pass, a shot, a turn. He's got a million things going through his head. He ain't got a clear picture in his head of what he wants to do. But now, you know, he looks like he's getting a little bit of end product. And if he can sort of get hold of that and take that into the summer and next season and kick on even more, you'll see Luke Thomas become an even bigger goal threat.
Yeah. I completely agree. Paul Lewis as well saying Brown's played very well last 2 games, and he set up the second and the third goal. He was involved in 2 goals. I thought he'd done okay against Burton. But yeah, I thought as the game went on, I thought he was really good. I thought Gordon was really good. I think that hopefully he can stay fit now and cement his place in the team, because I think the link-up play and the way they both defended and attacked, I thought was good with Sinclair. Obviously, Sinclair, first time in a while that we've seen him the other day off the bench, but he done well. I think it just really suited us, didn't it? Changing to a back 4, going with 4-4-1-1. I think Wilson and Kramer after the first half were really good, although Kramer done some mental back pass to Jed Ward in the second half. Did you see that bit when he absolutely spanked it to Jed Ward, and it was like, what is he doing? But overall, he did well. But he's just a bit mad, isn't he? he's
got one in him. He has. He's always got one in him. He's just he could, like I said a few weeks ago, he could play really well for 85 minutes and then just have a 5-minute bomb scare of a moment. It'll either cost you a goal, you lose territory, or what. He's just not switched on for 90 a lot of the time.
Yeah, he's a bit mad, but yeah, like I said, Thomas, I thought, Conteh was obviously, it's a shame because it's a shame that he he sort of I mean, what was your thoughts on that, on the yellow and the sort of what happened with that? Do you think something else could have happened? Like, because I said, thing is, with that second half, it was odd because Evans was sort of lucky, I think, because he'd done a few fouls that he could have got another yellow. But it's hard, wasn't it? Because the two midfielders were both on a yellow. It's hard because Grant is, Grant's a, he can do a job in any position, but we needed sort of Conteh and Evans out there, didn't we, for the majority? But it's just annoying that he's went and got a yellow and got sent off and missing for 2 games now.
Yeah, I haven't got any complaints with the yellows, to be honest. I think they are yellows. I don't think I don't think the second one, I know he's got suspended, but considering the way the game was going, the time of it, the result, I don't think it's a bad foul to give away. I don't think it's a bad booking to take. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's going to be suspended, but in the heat of the moment, someone's got goal sided, you're running towards your goal. Yeah, there are players in front of you, but do you take that chance if you can you foul him, you foul him? I just don't think it was a bad decision made. Yeah, I know he's got sent off and he's going to be suspended for 2, but you know what will that affect us finishing 11th instead of 10th or whatever? It ain't a big deal, is it? Ain't a big deal. The thing with Grant, Josh Grant, is he looks like he's playing with fear because that injury and that recovery and everything that goes with it, the op. He just looks like he's playing within himself. You know, he don't want to exert himself. He don't want to stretch that little bit. He don't want to run that little bit further. He don't want to stretch himself that little bit further. Do you know what I mean? He just looks like he's playing within himself because he's got that fear. So he just looks brittle to me. He looks fragile and he looks concerned about his body because when he's fully fit and he's firing,
he's a great player. Yeah,
he's such a good player, and his just body lets him down. I think mentally he's struggling with his body at the minute, where he's concerned about it because I don't know. That's a long road back. I don't know if he feels like he's got another one of them in him. He just looks like he's playing within himself a little bit whenever he does play. Yeah,
it's tough, isn't it? Because he had that. There was one. I mean, there's been 3 or 4 sort of, but I think there's been two pretty bad ones. Obviously, the last one he's just come back from. He was pretty much out for the whole year, wasn't he? From that injury, and then the one he picked up during the COVID season. I think it was away at Charlton. The game we lost 3-2 after we were 2-0 up or 1-0 up, and that game as well. And it's frustrating, but yeah, I think he'll be gone in the summer. He's out of contract, but it's a shame. It is a shame because I think a fit Josh Grant is a really good player, can do a job in many positions, but you can just see it's taken a toll of him, man. These injuries, he's lost pace. He's not as confident, like you said, going in for a tackle. He's probably nervous, and it must be so hard.
I mean, he's second guessing himself. He's like, there's fear there. He's playing with fear because he probably doesn't trust his body because he's been through so much trauma of the injuries. You know, it's your profession, it's your livelihood. Do you know what I mean? He can't. His body's not doing what he wants him to do, and he's probably playing with a bit of fear because clubs won't take you. They're not going to put you on a 2-year deal if you're going to be sat on the sideline for 18 months. You know what I mean? It's going to be it's going to be a hard sell for himself to go and get another club on more than, a 12-month deal, because history would tell you your body won't stand up to it. So it's tough for him.
Yeah, it's tough. Charlie said, looks like he's running. Grant looks like he's running in treacle. That injury looks to have taken. Yeah, I think all of the injuries, like we just said, all of the injuries have taken a massive toll, especially the last one, like you said, out for pretty much a whole year. I wouldn't give him a new not even if it was on pay as you play, because we've already struggled a lot this year with injuries, let alone, and I know it's sort of difficult because even if you're a player that has just had a niggle, like look at McCormick, he was never injured before this season, and look at him now, he's picked up 2-3 niggles, and he's played 8-9 games, if that. So it's so hard in football where you can never pick up an injury, but then you get one and it just happens. So yeah, no, I wouldn't give him a new contract. I think he's done well during his time, but like you said, we need, and it's sort of hard, but that it is what it is, football. Like if you're picking up injuries and then Look at look how many games. I don't know how many games he's played, but he's probably I'd probably say he's played about 75 games in 4 or 5 years, which isn't something like that. I don't know if anyone's got the.
He's been out ages, isn't he? Let's be honest. Like he's you can't. He's hard to rely on because you expect him to be injured now. That's just how you picture him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, to be honest. Just granted, I think he does, but. Evening, lads. Sorry about that. My laptop died. But yeah, Neil, I think is just plugging his stuff in as well. But yeah, apologies. I think Neil's gonna be back right now. Yeah, apologies about that. It's the second time it's happened this year. Right, here he is. He's back as well. Right, apologies, but like Brett says as well, injuries have been a real problem. Hopefully, we can get it sorted next season. But I think a load of teams. We're getting to Northampton now. They've had loads as well. But yeah, overall, good win. Back-to-back away wins. Can we make it 3 in a row this week? Hopefully, but I think it's going to be tough, especially with I think we've talked about midfield situation with injuries. To be honest, is a bit of a shambles. We'll get into that in about 5-10 minutes. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Northampton? I think a lot of us predicted not for them not to do well. So your good mate your favourite manager in the league, Brady, he's been doing a good job, to be fair. What have you made of them this season?
Yeah, I think they've probably exceeded their own expectations, to be honest. I had them drop in, to be honest. They've definitely overachieved. I mean, I know the season's not over yet and there's 15 games left, but as it stands now, they're definitely overachieving. They're not too dissimilar to us as far as form and the way their season's gone and what they've won, what they've lost, what they've drawn, so to speak. Be pretty even, to be honest. I thought they've got some decent players for the level. I think that the lad they got on loan from Brighton, Leonard's a top player. Like he's a really good player for the level. They've taken their loans have been pretty good. The Simpson loan's pretty good, you know. Hoskins is going to be their go-to. Although I think you said
he is injured though, Hoskins. Yeah, he is injured though. Their best player is injured. But to be fair, even without him, they still scored. You know, scored 3 the other night.
Yeah, and then they've got Guthrie with centre half, who had a really good League Two campaign. So I don't think they're ever going to pull up trees, Northampton, but they're definitely overachieving. I think this season, considering what I expected from them. It's hard. I can't talk lovingly about them because I haven't seen enough of them. But they're like us, I suppose, middle of the road, no frills, no one really pays any attention to them. I expect their season will fizzle out like ours has. You know what I mean? It will just be the next 15 games. Although Northampton, because they're overachieving, they'll probably go, look, can we dig in? Can we get this top half finish? That'll be really good for them as a football club, and they probably are digging deep and striving to keep that bit of consistency to keep them a top half side. So that's probably what they're gunning for. But yeah, they're all right. But same as us, we're all right. That's about it.
Yeah. Like you said, we're quite similar. They've got a game in hand on us, but we're 2 points ahead currently. Two places ahead as well. Obviously, we're 10th, they're 12th. I mean, if we look at their last 5, like we said, Orient in that mental game where I think Orient went. Yeah, Northampton come back 3 times, but then Orient scored a really late goal. They drew their last home game, though, to Bolton, 1-1, lost 4-1 away to Portsmouth, lost 2-0 to Shrewsbury, and then their one win in there from the last 5 games has been to Charlton. I think most people have beaten Charlton, but yeah, like you said, they've got their weaknesses. We know they want to get it into Simpson or Bowie. Bowie's another good player, to be fair, who they've had on loan from Fulham, Scottish international. Looking back at that game, I think that was with Mangan, wasn't it? I think that was that the first game Mangan took over in the home game? We beat them 2-1.
Yeah, it might have been.
I want to say his first game he took over. So, but yeah, even that game, to be fair, I think that was the game we changed it. I think Mangan changed it to a 4-4-1-1. Collins with Martin. I think Martin scored 1 that game. I can't remember who the other goal scorer was. It's completely gone off my head. But we won 2-1. I think the second half, we let them get back into it. We sat back a lot that game, and we did win. But you look at our record, though. I think the one good thing that goes into some teams, we have good records and bad records, but this Northampton fixture is usually very, very good for us. Usually there's loads of goals. We've had 6-0s. We've gone there and scored 6. We beat them, 5-0 at home. So hopefully, going into it, we've picked up even though we've had the 2 bad fixtures, you look at it, we've won 3 at the last 5, although 2 of them have come away, which is, sets us in good stead going into the game away from home. Like we said, hopefully we can make it 3 wins in a row away from home, which would definitely be nice and would, get that points gap. But like you said, it's going into it, it's just the midfield though, isn't it? And obviously Rovers in general, you don't know really what Rovers you're going to get, what sort of other knocks there are from the game. But as we know, all the injuries going into the game, it's not looking good. Like, what's your actual thoughts going into the game? Obviously, we'll get into score prediction in a minute or so, but what's your actual thoughts going into the game? What do you make of it? Because it's going to be one of those games where it could be anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty open-minded about it, to be honest. Same as I am with every game now going into the end of the season. You don't know what you're going to get from them. You don't know what you're going to get from Rovers now. So it's very difficult to say this is exactly how I see this going. This is definitely going to happen. You know, there's no pattern to anything anymore. Like I said, just a group of lads that really enjoy each other's company, like playing with each other and going out and having a go. It will come off or it won't. You know what I mean? And the midfield thing is a concern, but it's one of them where I'm finding it hard to be that bothered about it because, like I said, what is this going to be the difference between 9th and 11th or whatever? Like,
you know, the thing is as well, Northampton got loads of injuries as well.
If we were sat like where Oxford are and we were in this predicament with no midfield, I'd be like going, oh, that's just our luck. Really gutted about it, but I won't lose sleep over it because our season is what it is now.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we will get into lineup predictions. Let us know what you would play. What midfield would you go for? Would you chuck Kramer centre back or Conley midfield or Grant? But do let us know in the comments and after if you're watching on the replay. Keep hitting the like button as well. We're going to be finished up in a few minutes. So get into our lineup predictions and our score predictions. Then we will finish up. But keep hitting the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe. Still over 40 of you. So smash the like button. Leave your lineups and we'll get into score predictions in a sec. But Neil, starting 11 for Saturday. Be interesting to see your midfield. I mean, I'm a free agent if you want to chuck me in the lineup 11.
I'd rather play with 10, mate, I think.
Behave. Yeah. What's your lineup?
Ward in the sticks, back three.
Back three?
Beefy. Yeah, I just think back three of Beefy, Kramer and Wilson. 4 across the middle in Hunt, Gordon. You're gonna have to play Grant Ward and
Josh Grant, you mean?
Josh Grant, sorry, yeah. And probably have to put Luke Thomas in the middle with him, his legs, I think. And then 2 off of Chris Martin of Brown and Sinclair, Chris Martin through the middle. I just think you're going to need them 2 in the pocket to drop in and do a lot of leg work.
Yeah, so you've gone for the 3.
And then Pete from the club shop on the bench.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like we said, we talked about if there probably will be youngsters. I mean, Tom Butler's gone 4-3-3. Ward, Hall, Wilson, Kramer, Gordon, Hunt, Grant, Thomas, Brown, Sinclair, Martin. For me, I'm going to stick with the same formation that we ended Tuesday night with 4-4-1-1. Goalie, obviously, Jed Ward. Right back would be Hunt. Centre backs of Kramer and Wilson. Left back of Lewis Gordon. On the right, Luke Thomas. On the left, Sinclair. And in the middle 2, I'm going to go with. This is where it gets interesting. I'm going to go with Josh Grant. I think everyone would think he would play in midfield. And I'm also going to go, because Harvey Vell looks to be back, right? And Harvey Vell, his actual position is mainly a cam or centre forward. So I'm going to go with Giovanni Brown as a left centre midfielder with Josh Grant. Because I think thing is with Giovanni Brown, he's really good on the ball and he can sort of control games. So I think he would suit that quite well. So Giovanni Brown, Josh Grant in the middle 2, Harvey Vell centre forward or cam, and then Chris Martin as a striker. That would be mine. It's tough, innit? I think Yusuf has gone Ward, Hall, Kramer, Wilson, Gordon, Grant, Kofi Shaw. Yeah, because to be fair, Kofi Shaw looked good in the U Cup game, but yeah, he might be on the bench. He might start. You just never know. Thomas, Sinclair, Brown, Martin. Brett Gass saying 4 at the back, 3 wingers, 1 centre mid, and the rest up front. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? But yeah, score predictions. Brett has already put take a draw Saturday with the midfield being suspended or injured. But yeah, leave all your predictions in the comments and leave it after as well if you're watching. But yeah, Neil, what are you going for? Do you think we'll carry it up with our third away win on the bounce and our good record against Northampton, or do you think we will, get something else?
God knows. You know what I mean? Who knows? Who knows with this season? You know what I mean? backing up good performances has not been our forte at all. So not that was a good performance. They had a great spell. And we managed to turn it around. Do you know what I mean? But no, I don't know.
Comment, mind.
Oh dear, get many steps in.
Mate, you got
2-2.
Loads for me.
2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
What's your goal scorers for both teams?
Leonard and Guthrie for them, and probably Chris Martin double.
Yeah, he's on fire, isn't he? Credit Martin, man. He's been on fire again. Didn't really have loads of chances, but yeah, 12 goals for the season is incredible considering he's not had a pre-season. He hasn't had an amazing service and loads of chances, but yeah, Martin double because for me, I'm gonna go. It's tough, isn't it? Because like you said, just don't know. And this midfield thing, it could be anything. We can hope to pray that someone would be back, or the Aguilera injury isn't as bad as first thought. But I think we'll win. I think it'd be a very scrappy game because Northampton, again, we talked about, they've got loads of injuries as well. So it's not just they've got a load of injuries as well. Their best player's out. I don't know if he's actually back. I'll have to watch the press conference on Salty Brady to see what he's said. If he's back. But I'm going to predict us to win. I'll go 2-1. I think Kieran Bowie will score for them, and Chris Martin and Luke Thomas for us. So I'll go 2-1. Neil's gone 2-2. I've gone 2-1. Yusuf's gone 3-1. Martin, Sinclair, Thomas. Predict us to lose. The first time I predict us to lose Tuesday, we go and win. Of course we did. Tom Butler's gone 2-2. Martin and Giovanni Brown. Yeah, it'd be nice to see Giovanni get a goal, to be honest. I don't care who scores, as long as we can win. I know it's going to be so tough because, like we said, the midfield situation, the bench is going to be a madness. The bench is going to be God knows what. But we'll have to see. But I think we're going to end it now. Apologies for the shambles with both of our laptops dying on us, even though mine was fully charged before we went live. But thanks to everyone that has tuned in on the live. If you've got any more questions, or if you haven't left your prediction already, then do leave them in the comments below. Harry Jenkins has gone 7-0. It'd be nice. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a Northampton fan on, but if there was a fan on, I would have had me 7-up and all that stuff. So let's see what happens. But thanks to everyone that's tuned in. Thanks to Neil as always. We'll be back on Thursday because, of course, there's no midweek game next week. We've got a week's rest, which is nice for the players and for our hearts because it's been madness watching Rovers. Reaction will be out after. I won't be going, but I will watch the game. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Follow the socials. Join Fan Up if you haven't already. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Up the gas.